Hi, welcome to another Tech Fusion video. I am Hassan. You don't have to be the original initiator of an idea, but you can take it to the next level. On this episode, we will learn about a company that has changed the world's narrative of electric cars with a South African CEO, yes, from Africa, here in Africa. Let us go to Fussion TV and see more about this company, the most profitable car company in the world, and their next project heading to your home.
Tesla is already gigantic and adored. Morgan Stanley calls it the world's most important car company, and a 2014 American nationwide survey found that Tesla's Model S was the most loved vehicle in America. Other seasoned manufacturers such as BMW and Mercedes-Benz are now getting involved in the fully electric movement. Even Apple is said to have an electric car in the works. So how did this all happen? In this video, we'll find out exactly how Tesla began, learn some amazing facts about the company, and then we'll see just how big it is compared to other traditional car companies. You may just learn a thing or two, so let's get straight into it. Contrary to popular belief, many of the first cars in the late 1800s were actually electric vehicles.
Well, the first electric cars were actually carriages with electric motors, because electricity had started to come in the 1890s. We do have a photograph of a number of those cars in front of Delaware Park Casino in 1902.
As we move forward, it was discovered that incredible amounts of money could be made by selling petrol, and electric cars faded by the wayside.
Now, if you're interested in beating the pump, it's hard to beat an electric car. The problem with electric cars is there isn't a single practical, reasonably priced new electric vehicle on the U.S. market right now.
10 years ago, Detroit seemed positively plugged in.
The electric car is here.
General Motors built and leased about 1,000 of the fabled EV1s after a California law mandated sales of zero-emission vehicles.
I think it's the future, and I'm happy.
But by 2003, California backed down. GM repoed the EV1s and destroyed them amid protests.
They are fearful of how disruptive plug-in cars will be and how unattractive their old product line will appear.
Over the years, the electric car never really saw much hope, but in July 2003, a world-changing event happened. In this year, Tesla Motors was founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. The very next year, Elon Musk invested heavily into the company and joined Tesla's board of directors as its chairman. From the beginning, Musk consistently had a vision. He wanted Tesla to be something special. Its long-term goal was to create affordable mass-market electric vehicles for everyone. Musk oversaw the detailed product design of the company's first car, the Tesla Roadster. He oversaw components ranging from the power electronics to the headlamps and other styling. Elon's design was so good that he received the Global Green 2006 Product Design Award for his work on the Roadster. The Roadster was the first production electric vehicle with a range over 200 miles or 320 kilometers on a single charge. In 2007, Tesla went from strength to strength and received investment from prominent entrepreneurs, including Google's co-founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin. However, in 2008, the fallout from the world's first ever global financial crisis forced Tesla to cut their workforce by 10%. This included key personnel who had been involved from the very inception.
The Dow traders are standing there watching in amazement, and I don't blame them.
A lot of their customers are freaked out, waiting to see how low the Dow will go.
In late 2008, after being on Tesla's board of directors, Elon Musk became the CEO, and he contributed $70 million of his own money into the company. He really believed in his vision for the electric car. In 2009, Tesla received a loan from the US government which supported the engineering and production of the Model S sedan. Interestingly enough, by 2013, Tesla had fully repaid the government, while Ford and Nissan, who had received a similar loan, hadn't. Tesla unveiled the Model S all-electric sedan on March the 26th, 2009, and by August 2009, the company had finally become profitable. In 2010, Tesla went public. It was the first American car maker to go public since the Ford Motor Company in 1956. Tesla's success is just that more amazing because of the public's resistance to electric cars. Previously, electric cars were seen as quirky, strange devices and almost never taken seriously. To prove themselves, they just had to be better than a traditional car in every single way, so no logical haters could even exist. Well, okay, you might be asking, how exactly is Tesla better? Well, it's not a hybrid, which means that the only liquid that needs topping up is the wiper fluid. There's no noise or vibration, it's much cleaner, it has instant torque and acceleration, which means it's extremely fast. It handles much better than your average car, and even better than most sports cars due to its extremely low center of gravity, and this is because of its unique battery weight distribution. And finally, it's also much safer than the standard car. Okay, so what do I mean by safe? Well, I guess this is a good time to move on to some facts about Tesla. Tesla cars are incredibly safe. Tesla's Model S received a 5-star rating in every possible category, something which has only been achieved by 1% of cars, and the Model S has set a new record for the lowest likelihood of passenger injury. In the testing of the Model S, it was so strong that it broke the test rig. So why is it so safe? Well, because there's no engine at the front of the car, the whole front behaves like a massive crumple zone, absorbing a lot more impact in the crash. So what about the batteries? In an accident, wouldn't the batteries just blow up and catch fire? Nope, this isn't true. The average petrol car is actually 500% more likely to blow up in a serious accident. And that's mainly because it's a petrol bomb on wheels. Alright, so that all sounds pretty good, but I want some actual proof.
It's hard to imagine anyone surviving this crash, but it appears to be further testament to Tesla's safety claims. A stolen Tesla split in half after crashing into a pole during a high-speed police chase in West Hollywood Friday. You can see the back end of the car ended up between the walls of a nearby synagogue. Several people were hurt, but amazingly, no one was killed.
Okay, so that's kind of interesting, but what other cool facts are there? If you're in the United States, Tesla has plans for you to travel anywhere for free.
This is something that allows you to make a brief stop at one of our Tesla supercharger stations, charge your car very quickly, and be on your way. Something that's unique about the supercharger is that it's free. It's not just free now, it's free forever. The number of Tesla supercharging stations is increasing dramatically. A year from now, we will have covered 80% of the North American population, and within 2 years, over 98%. So by buying a Tesla, you essentially have free long-distance travel throughout the country forever.
I think the reasoning behind this is so that Tesla can create a new, better, cleaner infrastructure, and then when electric cars become more widespread, Tesla could begin to generate some income by letting other companies use the system while keeping it free for the end users. This is pure genius. On a single charge, it's possible to go from Boston to New York with 60 miles of range left. Tesla cars are really fast. The Tesla Model S can do 0 to 60 miles an hour, or roughly 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, in 3.2 seconds. That's as fast as a McLaren Spider. Elon Musk almost sold Tesla to Google. In March of 2013, Elon Musk was having a terrible time. Tesla was almost bankrupt, SpaceX wasn't working out, and many people just weren't buying electric cars. Because of this, Elon Musk was actually about to sell the company to Google for $11 billion. But fortunately later that year, things worked out and the rest was history. Tesla wants to power your home. Elon Musk recently just unveiled his latest branch of Tesla, Tesla Energy. Tesla Energy plans to reduce the energy costs of the average household by running houses off a specially designed battery product called the Powerwall. Elon Musk and his company Tesla plans to provide the solution. His company's home battery technology is causing a lot of hype after all.
For Tesla, their electric car was just the starting point to change the way the world uses and stores power.
If you think about the internet revolution that happened in the 1990s, this is another revolution that's happening in energy. So whereas in the 90s we spread, information to the entire world, now we're spreading clean energy to the entire world.
A couple of days ago, in a press conference filled with an atmosphere of excitement reminiscent of a late 2000s Steve Jobs keynote, Elon Musk revealed a brand new branch for his Tesla company, Tesla Energy, and its first product, the Powerwall.
So what I'm going to talk about tonight is about a fundamental transformation of how the world works.
Basically, the Powerwall is a polished plug-and-play battery system that takes energy from the sun or the grid during the day, stores it, and uses it during peak times in the evening. It costs between $3,000 and $3,500, and as the name suggests, it's small enough to hang up on a wall. It's designed to look more like an art feature rather than a piece of technology that powers your home. Users can stack up to 9 of them together to power as much as they need. The batteries are said to last 10 years with no maintenance, but does require a professional to install. Elon states that his company's technology will change the world, and I can somewhat agree with this, with solar efficiency getting up to 40% and costs falling thanks to China's manufacturing output. Cheaper green energy could become a reality. Using the United States as an example, Elon states that with the aid of his battery technology, we would need solar panels the size of the land area shown here to rid the entire United States of fossil fuels.
And most of that area is going to be in rooftops. So you won't need to disturb land, you won't need to find new areas.
The obvious problem with solar power today is that it's very primitive, in the sense that it's direct usage, and once the sun goes away, it's game over. This is where the Tesla Powerwall wants to make its hallmark on history. The battery will smooth out solar energy generation and store it for peak time use at night, where most of the energy is used. According to Elon, it would now be possible to completely go off the grid if you already have solar panels. So that's all very encouraging, but there's something missing. What if you don't have solar panels? Well, as it turns out, you can still save money on energy costs. You can just simply store the energy from the grid during the day when it's cheaper, and then use it at night when the rate is lower. It kind of makes sense either way, but as we'll soon see in this video, it's not actually the full story. So of course, energy storage from solar panels has been done before, but not really implemented properly. Usually it's about 3 times more expensive, doesn't last nearly as long, looks terrible, and does require some effort to get it up and running.
You need to combine multiple systems. There's not one integrated place you can go and buy a battery that just works.
Here's one way to think about it. It's much the same scenario as the electric car before Tesla, or the smartphone before the iPhone, with its capacitive multi-touch screen and a capable OS that was scaled down from the Mac. Tesla also announced a fully scalable power pack that it plans to sell to corporations to power organizations on an industrial scale. In usual Tesla fashion, all the patents for this have been released for free to encourage competition. Okay, so what? You might be thinking, I just want proof that this actually works at all.
Wow, the grid, it's actually zero. This entire night has been powered by batteries. Not only that, the batteries were charged by the solar panels on the roof of this building. So this entire night, everything you're experiencing is stored sunlight.
This kind of sounds too good to be true. Well, a lot of people are thinking the same thing, and opinions are split all over the internet. Forbes is stating, taking solar panels into effect, that places like Texas will have cheaper energy costs, holding onto the status quo as it stands now, whereas states where energy is more expensive, like California and Hawaii, will save money with the first generation Powerwall. But let's dig a little bit further. What nobody is talking about is the Powerwall's actual output. Although a single Powerwall can output 10 kilowatt hours, it's only capable of 2 kilowatts of continuous power output. If this sounds like gibberish to you, all you need to know is that 2 kilowatts isn't really enough to power the average household at peak times. For example, you can't boil water for your coffee in a 1500 watt electric kettle at the same time as making toast in your 950 watt toaster. So as it turns out, a fully off-the-grid home would probably need 2 Tesla Powerwalls, and that's not because it can't store electricity efficiently, but because of its limited power output. So that's a point that a lot of other people have been missing. So realistically, this kind of technology will change the world, but not just yet. So where would this technology work best? Well, the places that will benefit the most are remote areas or villages where power is limited or unreliable, areas where energy is expensive, and places with lots of sunlight and an already established solar panel user base, places like Australia, where I live. So in conclusion, although this technology and this approach is absolutely amazing, this is just a first generation product. This is the very worst it can be. It's just the start. Think about mobile phones, for example. Back in the 1980s, they used to cost a fortune to own and operate, they were big and bulky and heavy, and they only lasted a few hours and needed giant masts put around the country to even function properly. The fledgling first generation of any industry is a far cry from what it ends up being at the end point. It can be said that the point of what Elon is doing is to create an infrastructure that will reduce our reliance on the grid. In the past week, we've had yet another announcement in the realms of solar technology by who else but Elon Musk. In a presentation to the press, he unveiled two things: solar roof tiles and an updated version of the Tesla Powerwall, a battery that powers homes.
And he showed off the solar-powered roof tiles that eliminate the need for traditional panels and a longer-lasting home battery, which Tesla calls the Powerwall.
The press have been absolutely loving this, and I've had a few people ask me to do a video about this, so I'll take a quick look at both and share my thoughts. Let's start with the solar roof tiles. So what are they? Here's the basic idea. Instead of putting ugly solar panel units on top of your roof to generate power, why not make the entire surface of your roof generate power by making each and every roof tile a miniature solar panel? The result would be fully integrated and arguably better looking than a standard roof. This solar energy from the roof can be used immediately or stored for use at night by using the Tesla Powerwall. So right off the bat, I'm going to say this: solar roof tiles are nothing new. They're actually called solar shingles and have been around for over a decade. What's happening now is just a phase shift in the technology. Often what's needed for such technology is a revolutionary kick, someone to come along and make it actually appealing to the consumer. Think of it like the electric car. That technology had been around for 100 years, but nobody had gotten the product of the electric car right until the Tesla Model S came around. The Model S was a good performer, good looking, and practical. Basically, it was something that people actually wanted. Now bring that concept back to solar roofs, and Tesla and Solar City want to do the same thing. So here's the basic pitch that was said at the press conference. Compared to standard tiles, these tiles look better, are better insulators, last longer, are more durable, and cost less when energy savings are factored in. Okay, so this all sounds great, but I really think we have to wait for the technical details before we can call this a real game changer. But still, the concept seems pretty sound. In terms of market scope, there's about 80 to 100 million new roofs installed globally every year, so there's a huge market for this kind of thing. There's a few cool things about the tiles. Firstly, they're designed to have a dual appearance, so from the ground they look like normal tiles, that is, opaque, but from the perspective of the sun, they look transparent, allowing sunlight to hit the integrated solar cell. Second of all, Elon has tweeted that the panels can keep themselves clean by using heating elements, much like the rear windshield of a car. Thirdly, the tiles are actually much more durable, withstanding high force impacts that should at least double the lifespan of the tiles in comparison to normal roofs, according to Musk. And as a guess, I doubt there'll be thousands of wires connecting each panel. It would make sense for each panel to be connected by some kind of clip-on system. The fact that the solar tiles look great is actually critical for mainstream success. If the roof performed well, but looked as dinky as previous efforts from other companies, the adoption rate would be low. With Tesla, it's no longer a choice between style and being environmentally friendly. Now both can be done simultaneously. To further this, the push of the Tesla brand is more likely to make for mainstream adaptation. Alright, so that's enough about the roof. Now onto some stuff about the Tesla Powerwall 2. Compared to the original Powerwall, it has double the energy storage at 14 kilowatt hours and 7 kilowatts of peak power. Musk claims that you can power a 4-bedroom house all day with one of these, and if you add in a solar roof, you can power that house indefinitely. In Australia, where I live, we've been taking the solar battery storage thing fully on board. Some housing construction companies are already including the Powerwall in newly built houses. This makes complete sense for our climate, and I'm sure other sunny countries will do similar things in the future. So in conclusion, basically, the proposed idea of these new roof tiles and battery is to move a step closer to the seamlessly fully integrated off-the-grid house that looks great but with very little hassle. The aim is to make solar attractive, exciting and desirable. Now, of course, these are the very early stages in a long road to fully sustainable housing, and really, this is the baby phase of this technology, the worst it'll ever be. Things will only get more efficient, cheaper, and more viable as time goes on. I think in the grand scheme of things, it's some really cool stuff. Things about Tesla. Tesla always gives out a lot of its patents for free to encourage competition. Tesla is also planning to release the Tesla 3, which realizes Elon Musk's original dream, the Tesla for the common man. It's costing just $35,000 before incentives. In an odd twist, the watermelon-sized motor that powers Tesla's vehicles is based off an AC motor, a core technology which was patented by none other than Nikola Tesla in 1888. Another interesting fact? Autopilot Tesla Model S's have already been in production since late 2014. The latest models include cameras and a set of sonars that give a 360-degree buffer around the car. The car can detect road signs, lane markings, obstacles, and other vehicles. These features are going to be activated in the future by over-the-air software updates, which I think is a very interesting way of doing things for a vehicle. So, let's finally put things into a bit of a perspective here. Just how big is Tesla compared to other car manufacturers out there? Well, as you might have guessed, Tesla isn't the largest auto manufacturer around, they just haven't been around for long enough. And of course, the automotive industry is one of the toughest to break into, so really that doesn't make any sense. That being said though, Tesla is probably a little bit bigger than you think. Currently, they're already worth more than Fiat, Mitsubishi Motors, Mazda, Renault, or Suzuki. With a market cap of $31 billion, it's almost half as big as Ford Motor Company. Keep in mind that those traditional companies have been around for a long time. So here's a question, how many cars has Tesla sold? So far, about 70,000. General Motors sells that many in 3 days. However, take a look at this. General Motors' market cap is $56 billion, and as said earlier, Tesla's is already $31 billion. So, it just goes to show that Tesla is vastly more valued in investors' eyes than traditional companies. And remember, this is all excluding Tesla Energy. Also in regards to sales, consider this. Tesla cars are usually sold in shopping malls, not dealerships. In fact, many dealership associations have actually tried to file lawsuits to ban the direct sale of Tesla cars. Incredibly, Tesla sales are banned in the state of Texas. Is it a coincidence that Texas is also the home of big oil? You decide. I have no comment. The company has 10,000 employees and made $3.2 billion in revenue in 2014. Although that number is absolutely dwarfed by the bigger companies out there, it's not bad for just over a decade. Okay, so what does this tell us? Well, stepping aside that most of the financial system is in a bubble right now, so stocks are a bit overvalued, Tesla still does show that a good idea and simply doing things better can still work in today's fast-moving world. The automotive industry has been doing basically the same thing for 100 years, namely, putting flammable liquid in confined metal cylinders, blowing it up by either flame or pressure, and generating power from it. And then Tesla comes along, breaks into the market, and smashes the old norms to pieces. The fact that Tesla is a brand new, smaller company and still manages to cause so much change and instigate a fundamental disruption to the automotive industry is a testament to the innovation of the company. So, is Tesla the future? At this point, it actually kind of seems so. I mean, another company could come out of the blue and do it better than Tesla has, but so far, with innovations such as the supercharger charging station and superior car design, Tesla are well on the way to creating a vibrant, fully electric car industry and the accompanying infrastructure to change the world. So, in the wider and deeper sense of things, Elon Musk had a vision for everyone to own a great electric car. In 2013, his vision almost slipped through his fingers, but he held on to it. And today, he's well on the path to achieving that very vision. So really, if you've got a goal in front of you, always keep striving to achieve it. The road could be a bit windy, but you'll get there in the end.
Yes, Tesla. But you too may be sitting on the next big idea. So don't hoard it. Explore it, build it, and if you need help, come to the Technology Hub. You can be the next big idea. These are people just like you and me, even from Africa. Yes, you can achieve it. Until when we see you again in another fusion of technology and ideas, keep dreaming and make it happen.